Hello everybody, how are you guys doing this morning? Wandering Picked, hi. Welcome in. We are going to just jump right in. Alright, so I'm just taking it easy today, and I will explain soon why I am, but basically my airbrush was pooping out on me, so I had to get a new some new pieces for my airbrush. So yeah, I'm gonna paint some minis that I have here to get ready to paint, and so that's what I'm doing. How's your week been, Wandering Picked? Hope you've been doing well. I need this. We're gonna do some khaki, and we're gonna put some dry brush on these minis. Just gonna use a dumpy brush here. This one's up for the task. We want to put it everywhere because this is gonna work almost like a what is that? Like a slap chop. Gonna highlight on even the spots that aren't gonna stay khaki. So. Excuse me. Okay, studying for your last exam, preparing for graduation. That's solid, dude. That's exciting. That's really exciting. Well, good luck. If this is your background noise for your studying, then I am honored. But hopefully I'm not distracting too much. I decided to make a boring stream on purpose, so people could get other things done. Yeah, so really fun morning yesterday. I wake up to the news that my son's belly really hurt. I was like, okay, his stomach hurt. Alright, it's fine. He was like looking miserable, just like laying on the couch in the morning. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. My wife goes to the gym, and as she's at the gym, we kind of turn TV off and get ready to get up and figure out what's going on. And he just like rolls over and throws up. It's like, all right, sweet. So there's our day. After he threw up, he's like, "Man, I'm feeling better already." We're like, okay, like still, we're gonna take it easy here. We're not gonna go around and act like everything's just fine, because I don't want to deal with puke again. So Yeah, yeah, he didn't throw up anymore, but we kind of took it real easy. And yeah, just tried to hang out and have a relaxing day. So, yeah, he wakes up this morning. Well, by yesterday evening, because we're really like no one in our house is very good around vomit, so we take extra precautions whenever someone throws up. So like, he didn't eat yesterday. He had some very simple things in his stomach. We got some, like some Jello and like Gatorade and all that kind of stuff, and like just made sure he took it easy on his stomach. And we're like, well, if you have a virus, like, you got to let that virus leave, and you can't keep feeding it. So you gotta take it easy. So he was talking about how hungry he was last night and everything. We're like, okay, it's fine, go to sleep, you wake up, you're feeling good, we'll make you something. So he woke up this morning, and apparently he got up before I did. He was dancing out his room. So he was feeling fine, and he's been we've been feeding him simple foods today, but he has been eating anything we put in front of him like a madman. So I think he's feeling better. It seems like maybe he just ate something that really didn't agree with him, which is unusual for, I don't know, I can't think of the last time that's happened to anyone in my family. So yeah, he got it out yesterday morning, and then he was okay. So you done your studying today, so your background noise, you're getting the Golden Troll submission. Nice. Continuing to work on the Greater Demon, right? Your Kairos mini. Get wrong, just need to be evacuated. Yeah. I think that's what it was, which is good. It's good. It's not like a virus or anything. Everything seems to be going well. I don't know. Like, we all ate the same food on Monday, so I'm not sure if. Not sure what's going on. Let's look at Kairos. Man, that mini's so cool, though. I'm just painting some militia today. That's all I'm doing. I think what I might do at some point with these militia is go through like some of my command minis, and so like the colonel that's in charge, the force commander, and some of those different like lieutenant level minis and stuff, and just add more details. And maybe I could go back through some of these and kind of change up some of the colors on some things, like add a wash to a thing or here or there, or maybe a contrast paint, and try to break their colors up a little bit, make them look a little more interesting. Hand your Zangor Shaman in. Oh, cool. All right. I painted one of those maybe last year, and no, I painted two of them. I painted two of them at the same time last year, and they were a lot of fun. Like the minis are probably, the Zangor minis are way over detailed. There's way too much going on in those minis. However, the colors that you can put on the Zangor minis, and like, I feel like Thousand Suns in general are like some of my favorite color palettes. Like the rubrics and stuff, and just like the awesome looking blues and purples, and accented with reds and oranges and everything, and like you can do so many cool things with them, and they just look great. Yeah, yep, just the colors, yeah. It actually made me consider using Zangors as lesser demons for my my heresy army. Because they really fit the mold of, like, obviously the Tzeentch focused demons and everything. I know they're like technically not demons; They're just beastmen, but it's like they'd work perfect for lessers. But I don't own any. I used to own some and I sold them, or I traded them for some other stuff, and I wouldn't want to spend the money on them. Have them, so I figured I'd just find a 3D printed solution, and I can spend a fraction of the money. Server before? Oh, yeah, repost them. Yeah, let me see. I'm sure I've seen it if you've posted it. Hey, Mydraw, what's going on, man? What's going on? It is a quiet day for streaming, isn't it? Hope you're having a good week. Hope all is well, you and the family. Painting some special weapons troops for my my militia. I actually have I have a couple more printed out. I know I assembled those. I assembled these guys last week, didn't I? And I assembled some sentinels that I have that I could paint today if we finish these guys real quick. I'll kind of start on them, but yeah, it's just really frustrating. So I go to prime and base coat a bunch of minis like Conrad Kurz and everything, because I was going to paint Zendral's Kurz mini. And my airbrush had some issues, and it was kind of a very specific issue, and I have had a similar issue before. Alright, let's see. Let's take a look and finish. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh my goodness, dude, the cake frosting bases is absurd. But no, I love the like rainbow cloth and stuff. Like you can just go all in on the colors, and it's great. That's great, man. The metallic paints on the disc look really good. Great colors, and I can see the feathers on this mini are like the warmer colors, and I can see how it ties into Kairos too. So, really cool wandering pick. Thanks for sharing again. Yeah, it has been a while since you posted that in the server. But I do remember that mini. So, yeah, I had a problem with my airbrush where I would put paint in the cup and it would bubble on its own. So I've had the issue to where I like when I pull the trigger down before I pull the needle back or anything, like it would start to bubble in the cup, which means that there's airflow getting in the cup. And I actually got beeswax, because beeswax it's an issue with like the cap that covers like your needle and your what do you call that, the nozzle and everything, where it lets air through because it's not airtight, and so you put some beeswax in there and it seals it. It'll keep it airtight. And so I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Well, I put beeswax in, it still wasn't working, and I was messing with. I spent maybe an hour messing with my airbrush trying to figure out where the air was coming from, and finally I decided, like I'm not gonna prime and base coat Kurz when my airbrush is having issues like this. So I real quick I primed a base coat of my militia, because like they don't, the details and the paint consistency and whatever's going on with my airbrush doesn't really matter as much for these guys. So I got these guys done, so I was like, I could say I did something right. And then I messaged Gosu actually. So Gosu kind of helped me figure out that it's probably my nozzle is most likely it's my nozzle that's bent or just worn down and everything to where it's not sealing airtight and it's just letting air get into the cup, which makes complete sense with what my issue is and everything. So I had to order a new nozzle and needle, but I've had that airbrush for like 2-3 years now, and that's the first like replacement. So it's going well. I use my airbrush a lot too, so I don't feel too bad about having to order that stuff. But yeah, so I ordered that, and that doesn't come in until tomorrow. Or it's supposed to come in tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm kind of out of luck with airbrushing anything that I feel is of worth. You know, that I really want to focus on how they look and everything. So I didn't want to just rush out Zen's Mini. I want his curves to look as good as possible, and I don't want it to look all janky because my airbrush is spitting out paint inconsistently or whatever. So he's gonna have to wait a little longer for Curse. But after Curse is done, I have another Primark to airbrush and to paint. So we're just gonna be doing Primarks right in a row. Yeah. And I know even when my airbrush is working well, I was having trouble getting a good paint consistency coming out, like when I was working on Fulgrim. And I wanted to make sure I could correct those issues, so I had like good, consistent, like smooth paint. So it's just something I wanted to focus on. Cake themed cars also. I need to think of a way that makes it look okay. Yeah, it's fair. I love how much it actually looks like cake frosting though on the base. That's so cool. All right, we got the dry brush done on these minis. We're gonna go through our colors. Now we're doing Black Templar contrast paint. A finished example of the mini. This is my Radio Man here. So we'll get what boots, knee pads, shoulder pads, the chest armor. They don't have backpacks, helmets and masks, weapons, and then the little wrist pads are all black. Get some of this paint down first. And I don't think I'm going to be on for like the full time today. My son is home and I want to chill with him. He's doing good. Put in fake frosting. It's probably like phone case customization. Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah, it's whipped spackle. That okay? Yeah, I would have like probably guessed some kind of like spackle. That's really funny though. Like that's pretty awesome. Okay. Let's get this old brush here. Use this for our some of these guys have helmets, some of them don't. And something I need to do with these special weapons, I want them to stand out a little bit. So I'm going to try to put just a little bit of extra color on them. Because again, these militia are really simple minis. And I have, almost 150 of these infantry painted at this point. So finding a way to make the special weapons stand out when I'm running big blobs of infantry is going to be important. mask. His helmet. I think at this point I have enough riflemen for everything, so it's getting all the other weapons together. I have more minis printed. Um, I actually have some more like sergeant minis and lieutenant level minis, and I have different special weapons printed, and I have a lot more of like the communications guys. One gripe I have, or like complaint I have about these particular STLs is the torsos are all one piece. The torsos and arms and everything are one piece, because like this mini is three pieces. It's legs, torsos with weapons, and then heads. And it's amazing. It's so easy to put minis together and to print out a bunch of minis, and like it's wonderful. But like the radio operator guy, the communications guy they have, there's only one of them. So if you want to run something like an Imperial Guard army and you want every squad to have a Vox operator, you're looking at like 9 or 10 versions of the exact same mini. So you're not getting as much customization. Yeah, it's so the nice thing is with just about everything he has tons of poses with stuff, and just combining like the different legs with the torso pieces gives you a lot of variety. And there's maybe 15 or 16 different leg poses between like kneeling and like sitting and standing and running and all that stuff. It's like when you have a guy with a rifle, like the normal like las rifle soldiers have a lot of variation, to where I don't feel like there's a problem that I have 130 las rifle guys and that there's like repeats. Like I'm sure there's repeats, but you're never going to see them. But yeah, just like when you have one guy who could be in every single squad, and there's one pose, and it's the same pose of like he has his rifle in one hand that he's holding in a relaxed state, and then he's holding the little like Game Boy Color looking thing, and like that's all there is. So yeah, and you can't just like swap out an arm or whatever, unless I were to send files to Zen and he was gonna change some things up for me. But that's a minor gripe. These STLs have been amazing. I have gotten my money's worth out of these like so many times over. Just that one thing. And normally, like when I play militia, I don't run a bunch of Vox operators, because that's not a thing they get in the militia squads. They don't get Vox troops. But if I wanted to run Imperial Guard in 40k, like if I were making a 5th edition army to play some 5th edition games with Imperial Guard, then I would want those, like I'm trying to do. So I ended up printing out like 10 more Vox operator torsos, and I'm just putting them on different legs and hoping that gives them enough variety. Yeah, I do have other minis printed. I got so I have melta guns and sniper rifles here as special weapon troops. Like this guy's a sniper rifle. You see his big scope, and the rifle's a little longer. And I also have grenade launchers. The grenade launchers aren't being painted today. Those are just printed. So they're down here. Okay. Let's do all the sniper rifles first. So while my son was home and miserable yesterday, I was recommended a show to watch, and I know there's all these like like cartoons that came out in the mid 2000s, early 2010s, and all this stuff that, you know, people my age, you know, these millennials who I guess grew up with these shows or saw these shows in their early 20s or whatever, like, you know, you got to see this, you got to see this, like the show's so good. So one of them, I followed the recommendation from Zendraw, and it's Gravity Falls. I've never seen Gravity Falls. I have no idea what it's about or anything, but he recommended that I watch it sometime, and it's only like 2 seasons. So I was like, yeah, we can watch a 2-season show. So like the hardest part would be convincing my son to watch it with me, because I figured he might want to watch it. Well, yesterday he's sick, and all he's pretty much doing is watching TV. So I was like, you know what? I was like, hey, you want to watch a show with me? Let's try Gravity Falls. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. So we watched the first episode, and we're both like hooked on the show. It's really funny. It's a good show. Excuse me. I also watched Tales of the Underworld, the new Star Wars series that came out on the 4th. It's a weird looking Conrad Kurz. I know, dude. I know. Yeah, my new needle and nozzle they're supposed to get delivered tomorrow. Listen, Zen, you can have Conrad Kurz fast, or you can have him look good. So he shrunk. Yeah, he shrunk. What's wrong with that? Yeah, I legitimately want to paint Conrad Kurz. I am frustrated with the nonsense. Try to give him a bath, and he shrunk in the hot water. Yeah. It's obviously what happened. Yeah. All the dead skin he covered himself in. Then I think you'll really like the Contacar minis. There are going to be a lot to paint. There's a ton of like trophies on all of them and stuff, and there's also a few repeat parts. So, yeah, like they only gave like 3 Volkite Cavitors, or two or three, and then the rest were like heavy flamers. And I didn't want any heavy flamers, so I just printed out extra Cavitors. They look like they're all modular though. I think there's a second chain blade too, because they only give 4 chain blades, and and then the power claw. So, Eulogy, what's going on? Yeah, a pile of shame. Yep, that's what we're doing today. be fair though, these haven't been in my pile of shame very long, so I don't have a very crazy pile of shame. I do have a Thousand Suns tank I can finish. But this just seemed like more fun. I don't feel like using my brain today. So we're gonna paint the easy stuff. Imperial Guard. Yeah, so it's technically it's for my Horus Heresy militia army, my Imperialis militia army. But they are usable as Imperial Guard. So yeah, and these are 3D prints. So they make really good Talarn minis. Trader Guard. Yeah, they could be Trader Guard. I'm painting them as like prospering militia, basically. So future Trader Guard. Yeah. Something like that, yeah. Yeah, how are you doing, man? I have a lot of these minis, so I have... This will probably put me over 150 painted infantry. But these, I'm just painting about a dozen special weapon guys today. And I have all my tanks I paint in the 12-hour stream, and... a bunch of that kind of stuff. The Trader I have it rough. Yeah. No one in 40k has really a great life, so... Hey Valios, what's up? Yep, Thousand Suns use mortals as batteries. It's really unfortunate that the militia don't have that rule. Like, there's no auxilia rule for the actual militia. That'd be really cool. But hey, I mean, solar aux are cheap enough for it, so... Yeah, seeing how fast I can finish these minis. Got 12 of them to paint, almost half done with this color. You guys might hear furious typing here in a minute. Painting wife is going to be doing some work right next to me, so she's a very loud typer. Yeah. Who needs to work? You don't need to work. Yeah. Okay. It's fun. I actually started painting your Tyranids again. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm painting these I have these special weapons I'm painting, which are for my militia, like melta-guns and sniper rifles and stuff. But I have uh, I have some other militia ready, like some platoon command level guys and a lot of Vox operators and stuff, which are very much for 40k Imperial Guard. And then I made some build plates for heavy weapons, so I could actually put heavy weapons in my squads if I wanted, or make heavy weapon squads, which isn't a super common thing. Like you can't put them in squads, like embed them in squads in the militia, but you can in, you know, guard infantry squads and stuff. So trying to round it out so I could play some fifth edition with these guys. I'm going to read the Crimson King. I'm thrown off names and sects that the book throws at the readers the first chapter alone. Yeah, which one was the Crimson King? Oh, that's like the one where he's looking for all the pieces of his soul, right? That's the Crimson King. That's one I haven't read. I haven't read that one. Do that in a bronze color. Post Prospero Magnus. Yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind. I haven't read the book, so I don't have a ton of spoilers. But yeah, it's right after Prospero. That's fair. Yeah, I've read 3 other books dealing with Magnus, so which was the Magister of Prospero was one, and then Thousand Sons and Fury of Magnus were the books I read. Okay, there's one with the others. I don't mind spoilers. Okay. Spoiler alert. Magnus is a bad guy. Speaking of spoilers, I'm not going to spoil anything, but Andor season 2 is insane. That show is so good. Yeah, what? Yeah, Magnus. Yeah. 1000. You've read 1000 and Magister Prospero? Okay. Yep. Nice. Yeah, Morningstar probably is. Morningstar more like the Iron Warriors perspective, or is it what's the perspective on that one? Because I know Magister Prospero is all about Morningstar. Magnus and Aramon. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. No, Aramon's not happy about it. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. A couple more. Might be like halfway done with these minis at this point then. Do you use speed paints? I do use speed paints occasionally. Yeah, Real Sparks. Welcome in. I'm using some contrast right now. Yeah, I'll have a couple speed paint colors. Maybe just one speed paint color on here. On these guys. Best 40k quote I've found in Armon. It's hard for a son to know his father. It's hard for a son to know his father is not who he thought he was. Yeah. Madness of pain I know all too well. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Started using them and struggle getting a nice coat. Any tips? Yeah, I think the best thing with using speed paint and contrast, and speed paint's a little different than like GW contrast because speed paint has very little surface tension on it, and so it tends to flow way easier, which is good and bad. It's hard to keep it in one spot when you just kind of like tap your brush in there and everything, but it works for getting it over like larger surfaces. The biggest thing is just what I typically do is, and again, I apologize for the furious typing going on behind me. That's my wife. She's working right now. So, but the what I typically do is I kind of I'll find my spot where I'm putting the paint. So I have this black contrast here. And I'm putting on this rifle. I put a lot of paint on my brush, and then I spread the paint around. So I make it like you kind of overdo it, and then you move the paint. You kind of use that initial spot as a little bit of a palette, and it helps you kind of cover with the right amount as you need it. If it starts getting too thin, you put a little bit more paint in the area, but you also learn how to distribute the paint so it doesn't get too thin. It's kind of like good practice in that way. Yeah, it's about being really careful with your brush, really. Probably more so than normal paints. It seems like contrast paints, you go out of the lines at all, and it's like paint just kind of goes everywhere. So I understand. It's especially if you're newer to painting, the contrast and like speed paint and stuff kind of has its own difficulties, its own like weird things that kind of don't follow normal rules of painting. Yeah, it took me a few months to really get down how to use these kind of paints, like the contrast paints and stuff. So I remember the first time I was like, man, this looks cool, but it's like, it really looks like garbage because, you know, not understanding how the specific colors interact with, you know, what you're putting underneath them, or the fact that when you do use speed paint and contrast, for the most part, like it looks like you're using speed paint and contrast on the Mini. So you have to leverage kind of what you know or what you're doing about the colors to like prevent that from being such a big deal. And that's where like the dry brushes underneath and the whole like slap chop method come into play. I get hungry again. Oh, must be. Getting all kinds of distractions today, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I think the big key, especially if you're painting like an item, you know, like this, like the weapon or like this helmet, and not just like putting little details on. Like you want to put more paint than you think you would need down first, and then you kind of work it out from the middle. So, yeah, man, speed paint tends to like, it gets where, like exactly where you don't want it though. I have that issue a lot with speed paints. Car leftovers? Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, the little leftover container, dude. Dude, that's an old like ham container, right? Like grocery stores sell like the pre-sliced like deli meat, and they put it in like little Tupperware containers now. So I didn't even wash it. Can you smell the ham? The ham juice in there? Nice. What are you painting, Real Sparks? What is you working on? And also, man, if you want advice or you want to show off your work or anything, I do have a Discord. I know everybody has Discord, but I have Discord if you want to come in, you want to ask questions or just show off what you're working on. Yeah, one thing I will say about speed painting Space Marines is Space Marines are probably some of the worst minis to use speed paints on. They have so many flat, rounded surfaces, more than like any mini that, like, you know, especially like GW produces. It's just it's so hard to make it look good. What you really need to do with speed paints on Space Marines, in my opinion, to make it look like it's not just like, oh, I covered this mini in speed paints and it's you know, and there's like big water spots everywhere and stuff. Dry brush your mini ahead of time, so like prime it gray and dry brush it white, you know, and that's like the slap chop method, right? Like you're working on the colors without actually using the color. You're working all your lighting and your shadows and stuff. And also that is a situation once you do that that dry brush and you pick out those highlights, so all the like corners and everything, you pick that on the mini before you put any actual color on it. But then that's where you put the speed paint on thin. So you just want a layer to tint, not to grab shadows as much, because hopefully what you do underneath the mini captures the shadows. And you can find people really like to do that with Imperial Fists, because yellow's a terrible color to paint anyway. But GW put out that contrast yellow. I think it's called Imperial Fist yellow actually, and I see people put that on Imperial Fist and it looks great. But they just use it as a tint. It's not like a great contrast. It's a you know, it's just like a tint color. It's just like a really good like single layer yellow is what that ends up being. But it'll capture, you know, like the light that you put underneath it, basically. Softy, what's up, man? How are you doing? And Paint Meets Plastic. Welcome in, guys. Okay, I think that's it. Alright, just one more. Ran out of paint on the palette, so I'm just pulling it out of the bottle here, in a jar. What happens? Worst case, I learn. Yeah, and you can always, repaint the minis and stuff. Nothing wrong. And if your paint's on too thick, you can always just strip the paint off the minis. That's the great thing. With a little bit of effort, you have an endless palette there to test paints. This is the last time I was here? Yeah, I can't remember the last time you were here, but yeah, we've grown a little bit. Frankie Fingers, welcome in. Guys, and again, if you hear furious typing behind you, it's Painting Wife. I'm just gonna shame her to stop. That's what's happening.
It'll stop eventually.
Yeah, it will. Yeah. January 2022. Okay. I don't remember where my stream was in January of 2022, but yeah, definitely not where it was now. Got new cameras, so a couple more followers since then. Cool new people hanging out. Should do a typing ASMR Twitch channel. Just put a book in front of the Painting Wife and just say, "Hey, type this," and she just types it out.
That was my first ever job.
Typing?
Data entry.
Oh yeah, no, this wouldn't be data entry. This would be.
I know, but still.
Transcribing. Yeah, modern day scribe, but just so people can listen to you.
You know, when my mind wanders, sometimes.
Oh my goodness, you're such a nerd.
I know.
How did I not know that?
There you go.
Been together for 20 years. Never knew that.
Keeping it fresh over here.
Yeah, okay, alright. Okay, well, we finished with the black on these minis. That's cool. Let's figure out our next color here. This is an actual speed paint I'm using, a hardened leather, and this just goes on their masks. Finished up the 2 squads I've been working on since January. Oh, cool. Congrats, Frankie Fingers. Yeah, Softy, have you been painting anything? You been doing any hobby stuff? Put that black away. Typing and brush cleaning honestly sounds similar. Oh, really? Yeah, because I'm like wiping off my brush or whatever, like swishing through the brush water. Okay, this hardened leather is just gonna go over this mask here, and that's it. That's all for that color. Breaks up some of the colors on these minis, like the helmet. Another brown contrast. We'll do some touch-ups on some of these their little ponchos there. But another brown contrast paint we're going to use here in a minute. They like their belt and their little puttees and their gloves and stuff. So I don't paint 12 of these guys at a time, because some of this paint isn't dry yet. Hey, Raja, what's going on? Okay, there's another color down. What's our next one here? Yep, getting our Garagax Sewer. Yeah, it's just the three things I mentioned, so. How many militia infantry are in the army? I'm painting probably around... I have 12 here, and it'll probably put me over 150, I think. Painted infantry. I'm actually going to put down some bronze first on these... some bronze on these melta-guns, just so it's got some time to dry. Talarn Desert Fighter. I mean, it can be. Yeah, it's they're specifically made for my Imperialis militia, my 30k militia army, and they're Prospero themed, so you know, desert and all that themed. I would like to use them in some 40k eventually, and if I do, then they definitely will be considered more Talarn Desert Raider themed. Yeah, these actual minis, these STLs were, I think they were made to be a little more like deathcore focused. They're called like Trench Devils. But I ended up using, I have like desert themed heads, and I painted them very like desert themed, so you know, it's nice. They got some customizable minis going here. Yeah, and there's lots of different heads you can put on them too. You can put like Brody hats, their helmets on them. You can put there's like winter like trench coats and stuff you can give them and everything to make them like Valhalla themed and all that. So there's some cool stuff with these STLs. They're made by Quartermaster 3D. If you guys are curious in the specific set, he sells everything on My Mini Factory. He has like his whole catalog of these. There's number 6. Alright, cool. Get our sewer color here. Yo, Raptor, how you doing, man? How you doing? Fits the theme. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I did a 12-hour stream a few weeks ago, and I painted 11 tanks, or I painted 10 tanks, but I have 11 painted tanks that are Lehman Russ equivalents. They're all walkers, so all the tanks have legs. And I figured that would be cool for a you know, desert-themed army. And they look cool, and they were easy to print, and they're easy to paint, and they're a lot cheaper than buying a bunch of Lehman Russes and trying to assemble all that plastic and paint all that. Myself at my paint station picking up a brush. Nice, nice. Okay. Let's get these. I might paint these in a couple stages. So if we just do the putties first, and then the wrist pieces, and then we come back and do the belts. I think that might be the quickest way to do it. Just keep my mindset all in one kind of area first. Melee, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah, Lehman Russes get expensive. Yeah, Avelios knows. An Armada tournament again this Saturday. Nice. Yeah, there's like a they're doing like something different with it, right? Yeah, it's a weird format. It's like bigger stuff, or it's like random general or admirals or whatever. Who's the boss? Yeah. I've seen it's like Ion Radio or something, the Armada like battle report channel. They do like random admirals for fleets, like random admirals, random fleets, basically. Um, it's really interesting. Only 4 unique upgrades. Randomly drawn admiral, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because it makes you build like a really balanced fleet, right? You have to build something that can work with anybody, or you just build something that's good and just ignore your admiral. Like if you get an admiral that helps, like great. If not, like that's fine. Variant of the Ford Neb Bs, nice. Yeah, there you go. Just hope you get Garm or Dodonna or Screed or something, right? No, there's a lot of good fleet admirals that work with the Neb Bs, or like that style of fleet. Lose. Yeah, you won't feel bad when you lose. No, you'll win. You'll win. You got this whole tournament, Raja. It's all yours. Yeah, send it to me. I'd be interested to see what you got. When do you draw your random admiral? Is it like every game, or is it the start of the tournament, or what? How does that work? The start of every game. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So you can't just be locked into something really good or really bad. One redraw. I'm not sure if they're each game of the whole tournament. Yeah, probably the whole tournament would make more sense. Yeah, you take something squadronless, and if you get like who is it? Oh, the one lady. You just say no thanks. Holdo. No, not Holdo. I can't remember her name. She's an Imperial. Sloan. That's who it is. Sloan. It's Admiral Sloan. Yuki, what's going on? How are you doing? Just painting up some militia today. I think airbrush give me issues. Zen, are those Contakar assembled yet? To me Discord. Okay, I'll take a look. Give me a minute. Yeah, dude, they should be assembled already. I don't know what are you doing? You should have been putting together in the car. A new bed delivered. Oh, nice. All right. That's exciting. A fun fact, did you guys know your average mattress doubles in weight over the course of like 7 years? Because of all the like dead skin and everything that like rest in it. Isn't that terrifying? Yeah. In stream right there. Let's see. Nebby. Torpedoes frigate. Alright. Nebby. Spinals. Torpedo frigate would be really funny with Dodana. Just yeah, putting crits through and just doubling up on the card, just drawing 8 cards and picking out 2. I did not want to know that. Yeah. Yeah, I've never heard of it besides like internet fact things, but yeah, Raja, my one gripe about your list is that you put spinals on the Neb Bees, and I don't think you should do that. Because everybody knows that you don't sit in the front of a Nebulon Bee. And so what everyone's going to do is come around the sides of your Neb Bees, and you're never going to use spinals. Yeah, no one's... If someone's sitting in the front of your Neb Bees, like, they were going to lose the game anyway. You need to find something that, like, 3 dice to 4 dice isn't, like, a huge shift. You need to find something that helps the sides of the Neb Bees. because that's where everybody's gonna be coming at your Nebbies. Yeah, you run them in formation, but everybody still runs around the side of the formation. Yeah, because you can't wheel a formation fast enough to keep like an enemy fleet in your front. The fact's gonna live in my brain. Good, good. Yeah, because you think about like you come up against a Nebulon B fleet, and one of the big things. So I watched the Worlds, and that first round it was Kravik versus whoever the other guy was, and Kravik ran Neb Bs, and he just like turned him up to speed 3 and ran around with him and stuff. But he was running Akbar on his, which I think that's weird too, because you can't leverage like the good front. And he just like tried to outmaneuver the enemy and like lost. I was like, yeah, I could have told you I was gonna lose on like turn 2 when he kept everything like speed 3. Yeah, you need a way for the enemy to feel like they can win the engagement, so they come after your fleet, because everybody thinks Neb Bs suck and they just die to like the first time they take a hit, but they don't. And so you knowing that and your enemy not knowing that, like, you got to leverage that. And like, no one's ever going to sit in the front of a Neb B, because they know like the front is scary, especially when you put spinals on them. They're like, yeah, the front's really scary now. I'm definitely not going to go to the front. And if they're all sitting in formation, they're like, well, they can't turn fast enough, so I'm just going to go around the sides. I'm going to hit them in the sides and just kind of roll up the sides of them. So you need to find something that discourages something that the enemy will do, like that they'll do, which is going into the sides of your fleet. So something that either adds dice to the sides, or something that tries to get the enemy to slow down. So that's why I always put quad battery turrets on mine, because quad battery turrets say if the enemy ship is moving faster than your ship when you're shooting them, you get an extra blue die. And that's at any range. And throwing a die out of any facing when they're moving faster. So now the enemy has an issue. Like, well, I want to rush up and get into your flanks and hit you in the side where you're super weak. But if they do that, then you're putting out possibly like 4 to 8 more dice on them if your ships are in formation, because you're throwing out all these, the quad battery dice. Or if they move slow to get to you, then you just have free shots and you have time to wheel into formation. Then you can get the front on them, and you might never get an extra. Yeah, the idea is to advance slow, and that's hard to do when you're playing like first player into an enemy's objective, and they make it like they only have crazy objectives you have to race towards. So you have to like kind of figure out, I'm gonna move fast and then like slow down when I get into position or something. But yeah, the idea is to keep the ships really close together, or keep them in a way where if one's on target, one's in range, they're all in range, kind of thing. So someone comes in with an MC75 or an MC30 and hits you in the flank on one of your Neb Bs. At that point, every other Neb B has shots on them, and you'll bring down an MC75 really quick. Like, an MC30 won't stand up to it at all, but like you'll punish the ship for destroying your 60-point Neb B, and you'll take down the 110-point MiG-75 or whatever. Yeah, the torpedo frigate's cool for that. You might want to keep it like, I don't know if it'd be better to keep that back as like a linebacker kind of unit. Like, you kind of keep it behind the formation with the like nav dials and stuff, and if they start coming in one side, you just move it out to like intercept. That might be the way to go with the MC30. Or use it to go pick off like a straggler ship or something. choose to hot drop. Yeah, I don't know. I've never liked hyperspace assault. The big problem with it is you don't get points from the objective. Hey, Hobby ADHD, how you doing, man? You don't get extra points for being second player, and you drop your ship in and you can't activate first. So like there's ways you have to make sure you always have like 2 ships on target, or a ship that you really want to move first. But yeah, you have to play it really smart. But you just have to keep in mind you're not getting extra points for having that objective, which is hard to work around when the enemy has first activations. Doing great. Trying to get baby to sleep slowly but surely. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that. Yeah, the fun strategy back before there were a bunch of other objectives. There used to only be like 4 per color, I think, in the core set. And it was a Neb B with Yavaris and B Wings. And you put that into Hyperspace Assault. And you drop them out wherever you want with the double or triple, I think 3 B Wings, and you could get a token on your ship somehow. Like there was a lot of things you could work to like getting a token, and then you would run in there and double tap with 3 B Wings. You'd take down like an ISD or something right away. Pretty crazy amount of damage. Start working the Iron Hands again. Nice. That's cool, man. Yeah, you have so many like cool minis to paint. We're gonna go through and get the belts on these minis. Opens up a bunch more options. Yeah, something else I would recommend, and this is kind of like a nice extra, it's not like a need, but is it what's the shield, expert shield text or something, the one where you can get extra shields on your side arcs? Put that on 2 of the ships and put those ships on the outside of your formation, and then just make sure you have those extra shields. So again, it's a little more discouragement toward ships moving into your sides. And it is just 1 shield, but 1 extra hull when you have like double brace and evade and stuff goes a long way toward durability. This guy has a little empty spot on top of his head. Let's just fill that in. Okay, so we need to get we're gonna get a smaller brush, and we're gonna get these belts. Yeah, auxiliary shield team, that's the one. That's the one. Also, Hondo and Ahsoka Tano are both really good in that fleet, being able to manipulate tokens. Because when you're throwing a lot of red dice, like rerolls are really important, but also engineering commands and nav commands are going to be really important too, because if you're trying to wheel a formation, like you have to do a lot of like speed manipulations. Because, like the outside ones in the turn have to move faster than the ones on the inside. Oh, 4 uniques. Yeah, who do you have for uniques here? You have Whalix. Major Durlin, okay. Yeah, Cursed Agate, alright. Oh, and Vanguard, okay. I draw Vanguard, honestly. Vanguard and Veteran Gunners. If you want to be real troll, I would take Redemption over any of the other titles. Because what Redemption does, it's way better than people ever get credit for, because it's like it's an engineering command manipulation, but getting an extra point of engineering works on tokens and commands. So, let's see, Neb B starts with like 3 engineering, right? Or is it 4? I can't remember. But you go up 1 point, and say you're using a command and a token for something, You go up 1 point on the command and the token, so it's 2 more engineering out of the single use of it. And you just put that ship in the middle of the formation. And again, it's like if they're so concerned about redemption title, which no one is ever concerned about that title. But if they are, they have to come into your front zone where you have more dice. And if they're coming in slow, you have a bunch of long range dice. If they're coming in fast, you get extra blue dice. I have thought about this fleet a lot. I've done. Yeah, the auxiliary shield text. Yeah. Yeah, you just put an engineering token on your ships if you can hold it, and then that's an easy bunch of engineering points when you spend it. There's another combo with that. I can't remember. I put butter on my bread for my ham sandwich today. Let me say it's really good. Do you like not do that? Is that like a European thing? I put use butter bread for. I'm hungry, guys. Isn't fair. It's a UK thing. Oh, okay, okay. Brush is too big. Making too many mistakes. Butter everything makes it better. That's true. Yeah. Butter is good. Okay, we got the melt-a-guns now. I think Redemption went down in cost too, that title, Raja. UK put butter on sandwiches and they're like, this is ours. This is our idea. No one else. I guess they did invent the sandwich though, right? Placing butter with, yeah, with mayo. Yeah, mayo's good for that sense. Earl Grey of sandwich. Yep, yep. It's very common in the Netherlands as well. Yeah. Isn't that like a breakfast? It's just like butter, bread, and sprinkles, right? Isn't that like the Netherlands? Yeah, see, tuna mayo sounds terrible, but I can't stand like canned tuna. They only use mayo and they avoid butter. Interesting. Oh man, I do not like any kind of like canned tuna. No thanks. Like that, like preserved. I'll eat like fresh tuna, like in sushi and stuff, or like grilled or whatever. And but I can't eat it. It's like preserved. Tuna is stinky. Yeah. With yogurt instead of mayo because of health. Interesting. Relying on a food bank. Okay, yeah, you don't get to be too picky. Yeah, yep. Hey man, you're almost graduated. You'll be there. You'll buy yourself whatever fresh food you can soon. Who's knocking? What's up? What you doing, dude?
Question.
Sure.
For about 55 minutes from now.
55 minutes from now. Okay.
Yeah. If I could, borrow your phone to play some Monkey and Balloons. Borrow your phone.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. I'll check back at 12:20.
That sounds good.
So, wait a second. I go to the bathroom for 5 minutes and you escape down here to Dad.
This is what he did.
Okay.
He just like,
Ask
yeah.
me what.
If I could play.
is all my kid cares about with me. He can play games on my phone. I can't blame him though. Bloons Tower Defense 6 is what he's talking about, and that game's amazing. So man, we did the typical parent thing. It was really bad. Where my parents used to do this. My mom used to do this when I was sick. She's like, "You're too sick to play video games and all this stuff." And I was like, "But I'm not doing anything." But I think it was like a discouragement of trying to play hooky or whatever. And yeah, we did that to my son yesterday. You can watch TV, but no playing video games. All right, let's see. Ooh, projection experts. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Quad bats on everything. Let's see, I can't remember what some of these upgrades do. Expert shield tech. Is that just like regenerated shield? Is that what that does? Yeah, putting those in the middle. Yeah, okay. I could see that. Yeah. You might be swinging a little too hard into like keeping the ships alive. Maybe between the medical team and the shield techs and the projection experts and stuff. And Kirsta Gate, I think, doesn't she does like durability things, right? But no, it looks interesting. Yeah. So I was just yelling random things. Hey, I do have a little announcement. This Saturday evening. Oh, I'll let you reduce one. Okay. Wait, Nebbies don't have redirects. They have 2 braces and an evade. Sorry, Saturday evening, I'm going to be streaming Saturday, and I'm going to be streaming with the Painting Wife. So we're going to do a stream together. I don't know what we're going to stream yet, but we're going to be streaming together. So this will be our monthly Painting Wife stream for May. And we do have Patreon hangout tonight, so you are any paid Patreon member, you guys want to come hang out, We'll be in Discord. And we'll just be, you know, we'll just be like, we just kind of hobby, and it's just a voice chat. We just hang out and chat about random stuff. It's a lot of fun. Another reason for Vanguard, yeah. I don't think you need the redirect, honestly. Like, Double Brace is really good. And Vanguard, it replaces a token with redirect, right? Saturday stream at the regular time. No, it'd probably be later. I'm not sure. Yeah, it might be a more US evening friendly time. Like in the evening US. Son has a soccer game. I will have a set time soon, though. I just need to figure it out with my wife, like what our actual time is going to be. Okay, we got the red. Now, what is next? I think it might be white. Yeah, bold titanium white. Okay. Yeah, we're almost done with a lot of these colors here. Bronze and put you back. Sugar green, dry brush, and base rim. Yeah. Okay, so the snipers. Their eyes here. And we're gonna get the scope here. Also be green. That one up a little bit. Tomorrow should be back to normal a little bit. I try to do a full, like, normal stream time tomorrow. Painting something. Too much. Base width, yeah. Points is that? 5 points. Take out the 2 X-wings and put three or 4 A-wings in there. That's what you do. Vet commander for free token. Yeah, maybe. I'm also a big fan of assault proton torpedoes on the MC-30. 30k Marines might try to trade for some commissions for. Yeah, Thousand Suns uses the regular 30k Marines. Yeah. Or you know what? No. APTs wouldn't be good for you because they don't stack with the XX9 turbo lasers. Maybe a pain to paint. Oh yeah, they will, Zen. You're gonna be spending a lot of time on them. Well, it's a good thing though. You just hammered through like the rest of the minis that you have. Hey T Slayer, what's up? Before I do the eyes, I want to get a brown wash. Swag like Richie, welcome. Nothing much going on, alright. It's cool, we're just painting some. We're taking it easy today on stream. It's been a kind of a weird week. So... I need to print more militia. These minis are just so easy to paint. So my prediction for GW releases is I'm holding it steady. I'm going to say there's going to be no Heresy Thursday, and I'm going to say in the next week, maybe week and a half. Hold on. When is? Let me see a calendar. Okay, 2 weeks from tomorrow is the Dallas Open announcement stream. So I think by the end of next week, we're going to have a teaser or more for Horus Heresy, whatever, that's coming that they're going to announce at the Dallas Open. And I think they have to get the information out soon because I think they're going to do pre-orders like at the beginning of June. So I think what they'll do is they'll put out a big teaser next week.
First of all, let me take.
You've been sitting here from Isidore's stream. Oh, sweet! Welcome in, T-Mist. How you doing? Isidore's a cool dude. He's super chill. Is he live right now? Did he just go live, or he's been live for a little bit? Okay, nice. Doing well. Just tell me about my stream. Oh, okay. I am super boring. So, if you're into very boring streams where we watch paint dry, that's what I do. I'm just painting some like quick and boring minis right now. Yeah, I have a Primarch I was going to be painting, but my airbrush kind of crapped out on me. I'm waiting for some replacement parts to come in. So I'm live for about an hour. Okay. He's been streaming a ton lately. We should go say hi to him soon. I'm not going to be streaming a whole lot longer. I have like, it's been a weird week for me. Normally I stream about like 3.5 to 4 hours a day through the week. But yeah, my son was sick yesterday and he's home today, and like I feel kind of bad like streaming while he's home and all this. It's just a whole thing. So we got some easy things to paint. We're about to finish them, and then we might call it a day. But we'll go raid Isidore. Don't be so down on yourself. Hey man, I know what I am. It's fine. It's fine. We watch paint dry here. That's what we do. I make predictions about Horus Heresy announcements. Okay, it's too much on there, but it's fine. We'll get... outlet there. Isidore. He streams late. Yeah, because he works weird shifts and stuff, doesn't he? I know he was working like a second shift job, and he was streaming super late at night. Doesn't seem like he's doing that anymore, but just trying and failing with these little contrast paint eyes. So I have some 3D printed, they're militia, Imperialis militia, but also like Imperial Guard, or Astra Militarum, or whatever they call them now. So they are intended to be used in Warhammer 30k as like a supplement army to my my Thousand Sons, my Prospero themed militia is what these guys are. But I'm hoping to be able to use them in 40k a bit, as they kind of grow and expand. And these, I'm painting 12 of them right now. I started them at 10 a.m. and it's 11:41 a.m. right now, so I've been painting them for an hour and 40 minutes or so. And they're about done because they're very simple. I intended these to be very simple minis because I painted 100 of them at one time. So simplified but not simple, yeah. They say simplified, not simple, when they talk about 3.0. I'm out. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I did. I painted 100 of them in about 12 hours. Yeah. So I got these guys. Okay, so it was 100. All right. I'm like, yeah, painting 100 of them, and I'm going through the process painting them. I'm like, you know what? I wonder if this is actually 100 minis. So I counted them just to make sure, because I was printing these in stages and like this whole thing. And I counted up it was 112 minis. So I painted 112 minis in 12 hours. It wasn't even 100 minis. I couldn't even like keep count of what I was painting. But so I'm doing a little batch of 12, and it's been like an hour and a half, which is pretty good. Okay, did the eyes. Next thing I gotta do, I have some ivory here, and we're just gonna dry brush their base real quick, this material on their base. Yeah, so I think next Thursday will be a teaser or more for the new Heresy whatever is coming this summer. 2.5, 3.0, I don't know. I'm hoping it's 2.5. Hoping it's 2.5. The week after is Thursday night. They're gonna do the big preview, and they'll show off everything. And then what I hope is they spend the next week doing some extra preview articles and stuff, but like what's coming in the new edition and everything, and just kind of like on an accelerated timeline. And then at the end of that week is that's the 1st of June. I think that Sunday they'll do, hey, look, it's going to be on pre-order this weekend. I think something in GW like went like threw them out of sorts, and I think they're gonna do kind of an accelerated schedule. What's the Guinness Book of Records for painting minis in a time count? I have no idea, and I doubt I would make it anyway. But That's like such a subjective thing. Like what does it mean to be finished with the mini, or like what counts as painted here? Okay, that paint will chill out a little bit here. You guys will see. You'll see. Super new into Warhammer and mini painting in general. Does GW do something like small events to announce their stuff? Yeah. So yeah, GW does every couple months. They do they have like a live stream, and normally it's at some kind of convention or big tournament event, and they'll show up and they'll do a live stream. Where they'll preview like some big releases. They don't always do that. It seemed like for a couple years that was like how they announced new stuff. That was like their process. And it seems like recently they just started announcing stuff on random days on their community website. It's called warhammercommunity.com. But yeah, I think they still save those streams for like big announcements. And the next big stream is on May 22nd. It's at an event called the Dallas Open. It's just a big tournament convention. Box art time. If there is a record, if not, you got one now. Yeah. I'm gonna make the record and see if anyone can beat me on there. Where do they stream? Normally Twitch. Yeah, their channel is just called Warhammer. Right? It's not even like Warhammer Official or anything. It's just Warhammer, I think. Yeah, and you'll find lots of other streamers in the Warhammer channel, or what do you call that? Like category, the Warhammer category. They'll be streaming like alongside, and they'll stream it on their stream and hang out and do that. I've done that a couple times. Adepticon, Gen Con, and open tournaments. Yeah, usually get the big announcements. Yep. Yeah, Adepticon and Gen Con and LVO are the big ones. The Las Vegas Open. Adepticon just happened at the end of March. Gen Con will be in August. I think beginning of August is Gen Con, and then LVO is in January. A lot of Discord announcements, like 2 to 3 every day. Yeah. Remember when Gen Con was small? Really? I think when I was in this hobby, I don't think I was paying attention enough probably when Gen Con was a small tournament. I always remember Adepticon being the big one. But also when I started, Games Workshop used to do their own conventions called Games Day. Anybody remember Games Day? I have a t-shirt from Games Day 2003 because I went to the one in Chicago. With a friend, and our moms took us because I was 13 at the time. LVO is in the winter. It's in January. And Gen Con is in Indianapolis. Or no. It used to be in Indianapolis, right? And they moved it. No, that was Adepticon. Adepticon used to be in Chicago, and they moved it to like Minneapolis or something. Yeah, LVO's end of January. Games Day 98 in the UK, nice. Yeah. Another thing GW used to do, I don't know if they did this other places, but they did in the US. They had a thing called the Battle Wagon, and it was literally a van, and they would tour independent retailers all over the US every year. They would go to all these different independent retailers, and I remember one year they came to my local store, and I just happened to be there that day. Yeah, they would sell bits. That was one of their big things. They had a huge like bits box, like metal bits and stuff they would sell. So I remember I bought bits from them, but I was a kid, I was like 12 or something. I'm pretty sure I got a t-shirt. I don't know if I still have that t-shirt, but are they moving LVO to autumn? Oh, interesting. Okay. But I got a t-shirt from them, and I bought some stuff. But I remember specifically they came in, And I got to the store and they were setting up a Warhammer Fantasy game. And I remember walking up to look at their minis, and the guy got like, he got real nervous that I was like getting near the table. You know, I was like 12 or 13 at the time. But he was like, just don't. He's like, don't touch my minis, don't touch them or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm just looking at them. Like, chill, man. Like, GW employee representing the company across the country, and he's like freaking out about a teenager being near his minis. Typical nerd stuff. You need an article, or there's a Spicy Bits article. Yeah. Free mini of the month. I think it's a right now I think it's an Emperor's Children mini, right? Or was that last month and it's something different this month? Some kind of PTSD from kid touching his minis. Yeah. His kids are his minis are covered in like pizza grease or something. That's from his own hands. But it was the kids. The kids like broke a mini one time. No, not my greasy minis. Yeah. He's got younger siblings, yeah. You made a few more changes. Okay, I'll take a look in a minute. It is an Emperor's Children, yeah. I think ran out that fast. That sucks. Do you think of like multiple shipments, or is it literally just like, hey, you're getting 20 of them? Here you go, kind of thing. All right, we dry brushed the base. We have one more thing to do on these minis. We'll have to varnish them when we get, you know, new needles and stuff. But Spiky Bits is kind of weird, honestly. They've always been like the most clickbaity, like just website ever. It's always been a weird website, but yeah, he really does. They play reruns on Twitch too, which is funny. Like they'll have streams in the I don't know of any Warhammer streamer that plays reruns except for Spiky Bits. Show releases, yeah, continue release. Yeah. Just the one shipment, yeah, for the mini of the month. Yeah. That's too bad. Man, some old websites. So I still browse Daka occasionally, but Daka is, it's not like a website I sit on. I just like follow like the news and rumors articles in case someone like finds something on there that I don't see yet. Within the article, there's more article, just ads all the way down, dude. Another website. I can't remember the name of the dude that, I think the guy that ran it, his name was Reese, and he runs LVO now. He's like the FLG guy. But it was a blog called Blood of Kittens. Does anybody, any old timers remember Blood of Kittens? It was like the legit way to find out about competitive Warhammer. Back in like 2008 to like 2012. Yeah, it was legit leaks and stuff too. Yeah, it was like it was a good page, a good blog to follow. Just you can't talk about that in public though, right? Like Fahrenheit. Yeah, the Fiat 212, right? Like I followed that guy's website for years. I don't think he's posted in like 3 or 4 years at this point, but yeah, Fiat 212. Yeah. Oh, good. The memories. Yeah. Into Warhammer at that time. Yeah, Blood of Kittens, you know? Like, yeah. I had a friend, his parents were like Dungeons and Dragons turns people into like Satan worshippers kind of parents. And but they let him get into Warhammer. He just didn't tell him that like demons were a thing in Warhammer. This again, I'm playing elves and my friend plays humans and we battle each other. Like, okay, that's cool. May Mini is a tormentor from the Emperor's Show. Yeah, which is like the melee one, right? 3D printing ruined the hobby a year prior. Who's that? Spiky Bits? Oh yeah, yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah. It's not as bad as was that no, it was 40K in 40 minutes. They made that video about how like 3D printing is bad. And it was like hilariously like bad faith arguments the whole time. Just like weird strawmen with 3D printing and everything, and you know, oh, you have to pay $30 for this STL and you only get one pose for 5 minis. So it's not worth it. I'm like, who is this guy and his 3D printing? Like, how much did GW pay you to make this video? I hope it was worth your reputation. Antsy about Zelda because it had swords. Oh, yeah, yeah. Trying to sell his failure with 3D printing. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I kind of that kind of put me off of that channel. You know, like I haven't played 40K in a while. I occasionally watch one of their battle reports when the matchup seems interesting, but I don't know. It made them seem like, I don't want to say sellouts, because sellouts like kind of, I feel like it's like an overused word, but it made them seem way too commercialized. Like, yeah, okay, they're like, this is literally them partnering with GW to put this video out. And like, it feels like everybody can just see past it. Like anyone who has dealt with any kind of 3D printing can tell that like, this is just like a video made in bad faith about 3D printing. There's a lot of games in which people died. Warhammer very much fell into the not allowed category. Yeah, that's man. We played D&D with my son last summer. We did a campaign. And my son played a druid because the kid loves animals. So he's going to play a druid. As soon as he found out he could turn into a bear, he would do that every time. And he would smash people's heads like watermelons. That's what he would do. His favorite thing was to like crush people's heads. Yeah, Yoshi. Yeah, the weird... Yeah, they're... kind of weird hypocrisy, right? 3D printing's good when you do laser effects that you glue on the end of your minis, but oh no, if you print your own minis, it's not worth it. Never knew about them. Enjoy watching their channel. Never knew that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird video. You can probably dig it up from like, I don't know, a year or two ago. You know, they make fun content and you know, they have the way they do things. It just, that to me was like weirdly over the top and like out of place for them. Stay in your lane or whatever, but like we just want to watch you because you guys make like, you know, well produced Warhammer battle reports that aren't like everybody taking a sweaty competitive list. Did they take the video down? Good. Well deserved. They did get bullied pretty hard for that video. Once in a Six Side made a good response. I'm sure if you want to watch their video, you can watch the response video from Once in a Six Side, because he did like an hour-long response to the video. And he was, you know, playing clips of it as he was going about. He'd play a clip and then kind of talk about it, so. believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe it will bring a lot of good thoughts. Hey, Spiderdyne, welcome. Our Spire. Hold on. Spiredyne? Spire Redine? How do you pronounce that? That's tripping me out. The RER is freaking out my brain. Welcome in, everybody. The video Raja is are they Tabletop Time, Tabletop Tactics? What are they called? I can't remember what they're. The 40K in 40 minutes guys. Play on Tabletop. That's what they are. They made a video talking about 3D printing, and it was Nick, like one of the main dudes, making the video about 3D printing. But he literally talked about how 3D printing isn't worth it, and his whole videos were like, you buy STLs for $30 and you only get 5 poses, and you can't pose the minis. And whereas GW you pay a little more, but you can have infinite possibilities. So 3D printing is bad. That was the video. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Spire, what's going on? How's your stream? How you doing? Yeah, Lost Primer. Yeah, that's literally what it was. That was the video. Tabletop Tactics is a different channel. Yeah, and Tabletop Tactics I have different beef with, because they stole stuff from people and sell it as their own, and some very, very shady things. But it was the play on stuff was beyond, like, just like I have an opinion about stuff, and it's chatting, talked about a lot of stuff. Batch painting guardsmen. Oh, nice. Yep. Wait, you were batch painting guardsmen? Because that's kind of what I'm doing. So that was tabletop. Okay. Oh my guys, they all sound the same, guys. Yeah, it was Tabletop Titans that stole copyrighted material from someone trying to make a business and then sold it as their own. That was Tabletop Titans. Sorry, not Tabletop Tactics. Don't let me confuse those. Yeah, these are STLs. Yep. Yeah, don't buy the pop-up terrain from Tabletop Titans, guys. Tabletop Time is another channel. Yeah, those are the Aussies, right? We're always making like crazy terrain and stuff. Yeah, these STLs are the Trench Devils from Quartermaster 3D. Painting old-timey like resin ones, like the Forge World ones. Oh, nice. They look so good. Working with resin, especially Forge World resin, is can be pretty miserable, but ooh, the resin Krieg, they look so good. How many Tabletop Blend channels? There's probably like 50. Yeah, so Avelios, your 5th edition, 5th edition Warhammer channel needs to be tabletop playing tactical games. That's what it can be. Time at the end of that. You bought them secondhand? Oh, okay, they're recast. Yeah, probably. Do they smell weird when you cut them up? You're like trimming bits off of them. They have like a stink about them. That's when you know they're recasts. Yeah. Yeah, the story with Tabletop Titans was someone sent them... Okay. Okay, and your name is Tabletop Tactic Games Time. You tell by the smell, you can. Yeah, and it was basically someone sent them pop-up terrain to show off on their channel and to like give feedback on. They're like, hey, I'm making this product. Tell me what you think, show it off, help me out, and all that stuff. And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. So they showed off while they never returned the stuff to the person. The person was like asking like, hey, can you return these? I need these, please return them. All this stuff. They never did. And then Tabletop Titans conveniently, a couple months later, released their own pop-up terrain that is very similar to to what this other person had been trying to release, and then they got called out on it, and they were kind of like, nah, we don't care. Seems to, okay, as Discord. All right. Not as cool as tabletop tactical gaming time. There we go. Tabletop tactical gaming time. That's what it's got to be, man. You just got to hit all the notes. Yeah, what's up, Gosu? How you doing? And Raja redid their let me see the list here. Yeah, Ray and Tilly's. Oh, yeah, it's good with projection experts and stuff. That's funny, yeah. Just throwing shields on stuff. Officer medical team. Okay, alright. Intel officer's so expensive. Tabletop Tactical Titan Gaming Time. Yes, Spire. There we go. All right. Tabletop Tactical Titan Gaming Time. Yes. Yeah, the TTTGT. Yeah, you know, that channel. Should play Thalax a bit more. Almost done with them. Nice. I did, I finished these guys. These are my simple painted, like, militia minis. If you guys haven't heard me explain it already, they're like 10 minutes or less a piece. Add some points, yeah. Just don't put it in there then. If you have the points, go for the bid. That's what you do. Try to get second players. People play your objectives. Yeah. But yeah, we just finished a dozen minis today. I'll varnish these, but I have snipers and melta-guns. So 6 snipers and 6 melta-guns to put in units. Yes, this is literally it. They're quick and simple. I could do some touch-ups on them when I get around to it eventually, but Tabletop tea, just homemade tea flavors with gaming names. There you go. Like the candles, right? Like the Nurgle candles and stuff, and the Tyranid candles that GW makes. 2 hours into stream. Yeah, a dozen minis. Yep, I needed that. I needed it. The new Graveguard look incredible, and I will eventually be buying some Vampire Count minis, Yoshi. I wanted the big battle set they came out with for the Soul Blight to put in my Vampire Counts, because it has Black Knights, it has Graveguard, it has that cool White King. It's perfect. It's all things I need. But I didn't buy it because I didn't want to commit to like $200 into something. So I just decided not to get it. So I'll buy stuff eventually. I'll be painting Undead here eventually when I get back. I haven't bought many minis this year. I've only bought a couple tanks, and that was like a birthday gift from that people gave me money to buy. So that's all I had. Got it sub 200. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Again, I don't want to. I have a lot going on and a lot to pay money for. So yeah, I finished these minis though. That's it. They're really simple. I even did extra. Like the Melta-Guns, you can kind of tell what they are. Again, they're very basic. Some of the minis I'll probably go back and add a few more details. I might change some colors on things like the pant legs, and you know, maybe add some different colors on some different things. But yeah, otherwise, like, very simple. And this puts me at about 150 infantry. So I like the snipers though. Yeah, like he's got some. That a green got some places we didn't want it. That guy was way overdone with his green eyes. But you know, when you have 200 minis coming at you, like, you're not going to pick up one dude and be like, hey, let's look at this one guy. Like, the chances of that happening are slim to none. So I do think we're going to raid out. I'm going to call this stream there, and you know, like, I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me. My son is still home. I'm going to go chill with him for a bit. Who do we want to see? Mohawk Minis is on. Introdan, what's he painting? Paint a naked lady. We're not gonna raid. We're not gonna raid him. Paint a naked lady. Mohawk will be cool. Let's raid Mohawk Miniatures guy. I know. Yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm going to be. I'll probably be streaming more just like random backlog stuff, to be honest. But because I'm waiting for something to get in with my airbrush to be able to get back to. Yes, no, we gotta raid Isidore. That's right, we have to raid Isidore, and he's on. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. I told myself I was gonna raid Izzy, and we're gonna do it. So let's get in here and let's raid. So if you want to join in with the raid, T-Mist, hold on 1 minute. Guys, Isidore is super cool. Super cool. No, it's all good. All good. Thank you for the reminder, though. Let's raid Isidore. And let's say hi. Give him a follow, guys. Let's show him some love. He's a smaller streamer. The guy is super cool. He's super chill. And he paints great looking minis. So let's go see what he's up to. And looks like he's painting Krieg artillery, guys. No, yeah? There's an Necron on the base. I don't know. But let's go say hi to him and chill. So it'll be a good time. Thank you guys for coming to hang out. Thank you so much. Thank you for the raid, Spire. I really appreciate it. And guys, it was great to meet you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we'll be painting more fun stuff. Bye, everybody.